that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty, and they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are packing up, we're doubling down with dependable service, great prices, and the biggest selection in the region. Your journey doesn't stop here, and neither do we. Here tomorrow, here for every mile ahead. Visit us in Rapid City or Somerset or online at dakotadiscountrv.com.
And 200, 2 quarter, 2 to the bid, 1 bomb, 50, want to get 250 here, no 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at mcphersonauction.com.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger?
Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the top of the first inning in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series as Julio Rodriguez hit a 3-run shot, but the Jays have pulled it back to even. Right now, tied up at 3 apiece in the top of the third inning in Toronto. Blue Jays scoring twice in the bottom half of the first and adding another in the second. Mariners up 1-0 in the best-of-7 series, but tied up at 3 right now in the third in Toronto in Game 2. You can see it on Fox and FS1. Tonight on TBS, it's Game 1 of the NLCS, Dodgers and Brewers. First pitch after 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Blake Snell against Aaron Ashby. Mike Schultz stepped down today as the skipper of the San Diego Padres. NFL action tonight, Bills and Falcons, 7:15 Eastern. No Dalton Kincaid for Buffalo. Bears and Commanders, 8:15 Eastern. Titans fired head coach Brian Callahan. Lions defensive back Brian Branch suspended 1 game for punching Juju Smith-Schuster. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome in. Let's get going here on a Monday. Thanks for being a part of the program. We're ready. The Nate Brown Show back and ready on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, where it's always a great day in South Dakota. Hope you're having a great day. Solid weekend. How was it? Okay. Feels like fall now in South Dakota. I guess we'll take that. Hey, let's get going on the Nate Brown Show tonight. Appreciate you being here on the radio side again. Tune us in on your drive home with our affiliates across the state on Fox Sports Radio. We appreciate them, and we appreciate you making this show possible. We are live also on Twitter right now, so watch us there on your phone. Follow us at Nate Brown Show and watch us live on Twitter. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Subscribe to the channel. If you're a YouTube guy, you've got us, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. And one more place, Midwest Sports Plus, the new high school sports app that's launched in South Dakota. Great game coverage. And, of course, this show live weekday afternoons, Midwest Sports Plus. If you have the app, you've got us right now. Welcome in. Let's get going. Look at the guest lineup. Looks good tonight. We got a lot to hit. I mean, a lot to cover from high school to college to the pros. Really good reaction Monday coming up. Jason Andera is in every Monday, South Dakota high school sports analyst with SDPB. We'll talk to Jandy from Sioux Falls. Jason Andera as the high school football season winds down. Just a couple of weeks left. And then we're talking playoff football here in October. Jason Andera talking about the teams to beat right now. We'll go college football with Zach Barnett, national college football writer, footballscoop.com, live from Dallas. Gary Sharp's in from from Nebraska. 1620 The Zone. Morning host Gary Sharp talking Huskers, Matt Rule, and more. Live from Omaha, Gary Sharp's on tonight. And to Denver, Doug Ottewill covering the Broncos. They're back from London. Broncos sneak away. They just snuck away with a W. I'll take it. I'll explain. Coming up, Doug Ottewill on the way. Talking Broncos senior writer, milehighsports.com. Packed tonight on a Monday, and I'm serious. We got a lot to hit. You want to be a part of the conversation? I invite you in. It always makes it more fun. Little back and forth on the Pizza Ranch studio hotline, 605-720-1067. Join the Nate Brown Show on 605-720-1067. That's the Pizza Ranch studio hotline, powered by the Pizza Ranch, our home for the best buffet, no doubt, in Brandon, East 10th Street in Sioux Falls, and 2 locations in Rapid City. Everyone's favorite buffet is the Pizza Ranch buffet, locally owned and operated. Also, hit us on the text line if you want in tonight. Text the show, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson Lister text line, 605-720-1067. So a lot of ways we can start the show tonight, a lot of ways to go. I'm going to go with the biggest news from the weekend, and there's no doubt about this, just from the optics, the impact, and then how it may tie into some South Dakota sports fans here. This James Franklin deal in Penn State is a huge deal. James Franklin getting fired by Penn State, because I was on this show last week talking to John Bryce, one of our favorite guys that covers college football for a long time. And I threw it out there with John Bryce, like after the loss to UCLA, I was like, is James Franklin under some pressure here? Is James Franklin getting a little hot here? And he was convinced, nah, not really. I mean, there's a lot of goodwill built up. There's a lot of support there. I mean, James Franklin's done a really solid job at Penn State, right? So he has a long leash, so to speak. And he wasn't saying he's going to stick around forever. But John was on the show last week and said, yeah, I mean, there's really not a lot of heat there at Penn State. And then they go and lose to Northwestern. Drew Aller gets hurt, the starting QB, NFL prospect, and things just go from bad to worse. And now it's just out of nowhere, Penn State pulls the plug on James Franklin, and he gets axed. The loss to UCLA, the loss to Northwestern, and he gets axed. And now you've got a whole situation relating back to all you South Dakota Husker fans have to realize this conversation's going to be going a lot now, and it's something you don't want to hear after the Huskers just beat Maryland. Nice win. That was a nice win. Nebraska's sitting here looking good, only one loss, in good shape, putting a season together, and now the discussion's going to go to Matt Rule and all the interest and all the ties to Penn State as he went to Penn State, grew up at State College, met his wife at Penn State. I mean, the ties. He has a relationship with the AD, a big one. So now this is all going to go awry. You've got Nebraska having the nice year. Finally, Matt Rule, 3rd year. This is the year. And then James Franklin gets popped over the weekend, and now it's Matt Rule to Penn State. And now you've got a situation where you're going to have to talk about that the rest of the year. So this is a perfect storm here. I'm going to ask you first. Your Penn State AD, was it the right call for Penn State to fire James Franklin this weekend? That one surprised me. And I mean, those losses were bad. And then the AD said today, well, you also look at those big games that he lost. Those factored in as well. So I thought that was interesting. Those big games that he lost, those factored in as well. That's what the AD said. Pat Kraft, the AD at Penn State today, said, I'm here to win a national championship. And here's what I don't understand, though. Penn State's not going to win the national championship, I don't believe, with James Franklin, and I don't believe with anybody. It's easy for me to say, just looking back, looking at the program. It's really hard now to win a national championship. Penn State's top tier, but it's not Ohio State even. It's not. I mean, they want to act like they're Ohio State. They're not Ohio State. Penn State's still a program that, I mean, you're going to get some top-tier talent. I always felt Penn State they're good, and James Franklin makes them good. They were, in my boat, never elite, and I'm not expecting, hey, what do you want the AD to say? I'm here to win a national championship. That ain't happening. This isn't Alabama even. This isn't the SEC. This isn't Georgia, Alabama, where you've got that pressure cooker there. So Penn State, it's an unbelievable place. I love the atmosphere. I knew a coach there. He was in that program with James Franklin. Had a lot of respect for him. So I've got some ties there, and I've talked about this program before. I think it's solid. I think it's really good. I think Penn State people think they're like, and here was the thing, they could win the national championship this year. They could be in there. Oh, they were close last year. They were close. And I've said this over and over. Penn State's had a walkthrough through the college football playoff last year. Just go back and look at Penn State's schedule. Look at the matchups they got to play. SMU, Boise State, I mean, that was a walkthrough. So everyone's, they were so close to winning a national championship last year. No, they really weren't. I mean, if they didn't have a walkthrough, they really weren't. So how the seeding's going to go now in this college football playoff, they're going to change it up instead of giving the automatic buys to the conference champs. This isn't going to be walkthrough anymore. So, people like floating all this stuff. Oh, they were this close and they were that close. They're a good program. And James Franklin, I think, was solid, but his 1-18 record against the top 10 teams of the Big Ten, that was a factor. And what people don't understand, you just can't lose to UCLA and Northwestern at home. So I'm telling you right now, seems goofy to fire a coach now, about $50 million to pay him out if he doesn't get another job, I guess. Seems really goofy. I mean, think about how crazy that is. Think about how crazy that is. We're going to fire a guy, $50 million buyout. That's the second biggest buyout in college football history behind Jimbo Fisher at A&M. So I don't think Penn State did the right thing. However, I understand it because the two losses were killers. This wasn't losing to Illinois. No, this was not losing to Illinois. This was not losing to a mid-tier Big Ten program. These were the bad programs in the Big Ten, and Penn State went from everybody saying national championship contender, not me, but everybody, national championship contender, wheels fall off in a hurry. And it reminds me of the NFL correlation of like, hey, Andy Reid we know is a great coach. They got rid of him in Philadelphia even after he went to the Super Bowl. So sometimes, it's been 12 years for James Franklin. 12 years at Penn State, and I think he's solid. I don't think he's a bad coach by any means. They just are thinking, we're going to try something else. That's a $50 million price tag. Good luck with it. I'm not telling you it's the right call. I understand the situation at Penn State because the losses were so bad. You tell me, 605-720-1067, was it the right call for Penn State to fire James Franklin? Your call on the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline or the Barron's Wilson text line. See if we can catch you on there. 605-720-1067. Was it the right call for Penn State to fire James Franklin after, we're talking mid-season here, and the two losses to UCLA and Northwestern did him in? And I think it surprised a lot of people. Even folks thought, well, he'll have enough goodwill and enough relationships there that he's going to be fine, and he's not. 64% of my audience tonight on the Nate Brown Show saying it was not the right call. It was not the right call. 64% of you saying they'll just go backwards. 36% of you saying, yes, he had too many big L's. How I see the James Franklin thing, I'm surprised by it. I've always thought Penn State wasn't elite. I think they are, and I don't think they're going to be. So maybe they'll go down the road of Matt Rule. Maybe they'll get Matt away from Nebraska. I don't think Matt's going to take them to a national championship. I think Matt's doing an unbelievable job, right? You guys should credit Matt Rule for the Huskers. Can he take Penn State over the top? All the resources, all the stuff. I think he's got a bunch of resources at Nebraska. I think he's got. Now, do they have a little better of a championship pedigree? A little better recruiting? Yeah, they've got that built in for now. But I don't know if you can get Penn State through this gauntlet. This college football playoff expanding to 12 teams and more, it's a gauntlet. And Penn State's not going to get through it, whether it's James Franklin or whoever. So it just cost themselves $50 million. I wouldn't have done it this quick. I think they hit a rough patch, but it was the roughest of patches. UCLA and Northwestern, this is a Penn State team that's way better than them. So I think the AD could say it was about the other big losses too. No, it was about these two losses. It was about these two losses. You're so much better than UCLA and Northwestern, and they couldn't win, so then James Franklin's gone. That's it. End of story. Would you have fired him? Let's see here. Lister text coming in. The Huskers need to be very worried about Matt Rule bolting to Penn State. Rule's buyout's only $5 million if he walks before January 1st. Okay. Lister text. Franklin's arrogance is fine when the team is winning, but when the losses pile up, it's easy to dump a person that's too arrogant. Very similar to the Huskers and Bo Pelini. That's interesting. Franklin's kind of a tough guy. I don't think he's Bo Pelini. I think Franklin's liked more at Penn State over the years than Pelini was in Nebraska. $50 million. That's something. That's what they're going to have to pay out just to get rid of James Franklin. Now, Lister text, they said, how about the Matt Rule situation? You watched that press conference today. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're working. Maybe you're busy today. The press conference with Matt Rule today, he said he loved Penn State, and then he said, I love Nebraska. So he said exactly the right things, but he did not say, oh, I'm ready to go. I'm good to go. I'm not interested. He didn't say those words. Matt Rule is a Penn State guy. This is the premier place if he thinks, okay, this is my alma mater. I mean, that is big stuff. You talk about emotional and kind of wondering, hey, where do we want to end up being? And that's big stuff. So Matt Rule to Penn State should be something you should think about. I'm talking Husker fans. You didn't want to have to deal with that on a Monday. That's something you should be. I don't know any of the inside stuff. That's something you should be worried about. Alma mater, stepping stone. Matt Rule's getting it done at Nebraska in his third year. And he said, I don't want to talk about this stuff. He said, I won't talk about this stuff anymore, the jobs. That's going to be the speculation the rest of the year. This is the Husker season now. Thanks for calling. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. What do you think?
Well, unless Rule gets a big increase in pay, it's basically a lateral move. Why? It's not really. I wouldn't consider. I mean, it's his alma mater, but is it really a step up? I mean, are their facilities even as good as Nebraska? I don't think so. I think their fan base is just as loyal, if not more so, in Nebraska than it is in Penn State.
The step up would be they've won more recently. I mean, that would be a step up with their players. That's what I would say. But resources, stuff like that.
Rules are starting to get those players at Nebraska.
Maybe.
Well, I've noticed a huge increase in talent, especially speed-wise on both sides of the ball, especially this year. Definite uptick in speed. I mean, they're not making the penalties, and their special teams are lights out now. And I just, I'm seeing Rayo has some rough patches here and there, but I think he's got to move in the direction that he wants it to go. And I think Penn State's got. I mean, you're in the best conference in the country already. So really, I mean, he's making $9 million a year at Nebraska. So unless they can give him a huge raise, I don't see why he'd take. His wife has 2 successful businesses in Lincoln that are thriving now, and his kids love the school system there. He's got 2 younger kids. Unless it's a huge increase in salary, I don't see him making the move.
Interesting. Interesting.
Husker fan,
now, the emotional connection to the alma mater is an X factor. It is an X factor. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for getting in, as always. Good to hear from you. Husker fans don't want to see it. I'm just telling you, that's what people are going to be saying. They're saying Indiana Cignetti right now, too. Like, oh, Cignetti, get Cignetti. Matt Rule's got to be thought about with his relationship with the Penn State AD, the alma mater, grew up there. I mean, that's big. That is big. We all know we love home, okay? My home has been South Dakota, Montana. I worked back in Washington, D.C. for a long time. I don't remember it much, but my home is here, okay? You want to be there. So that's going to be discussed. There's no doubt. Do you think it was the right call to fire James Franklin? It's hard for me because those 2 losses were killers. And if the Huskers lost to UCLA and Northwestern back-to-back, you guys would have been going bonkers. And Nebraska didn't have national championship thrown at their plate. Penn State did. The expectations were through the roof, and then they lose to 2 bottom teams. It's over. I mean, it's ugly. It's over. Zach Barnett's in next. His take, footballscoop.com, national college football writer, talking Matt Rule to Penn State, potentially. Let's go there.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From us, and please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps 1 minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation. Hard stops, endless red lights, and long idle times. They wear things down fast. Brakes, fluids, engine components, they all take a beating. That's where Al's D&I Repair in Rapid City comes in. We handle the maintenance that keeps your vehicle ready for whatever the city throws at it. Al's D&I, fixing it right since 77. Check in at Al's D&I on Sturgis Road and online at alsdniautorepair.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk.
Hey, welcome back in across the state. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're here. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Hack tonight. Good stuff. Gary Sharp's coming up from Nebraska. 1620 The Zone, morning host in Omaha. Talk Huskers, Matt Rule, and this whole deal moving forward now. Gary Sharp's coming up to Denver with Doug Ottewill covering the Broncos. Broncos 4-2 for the first time since 2016. Oh, look out. Doug Ottewill's in tonight from Mile High Sports, senior writer. Talking Broncos, a little bit of Buffs with the win over Iowa State. The Buffs? Look out. Save the season for Prime? All right. Zach Barnett's on tonight. Find his work at footballscoop.com. College football writer for Football Scoop, a place I go every day. Great site. Zach, welcome in. How are you?
Doing well, Nate. Great to be here.
Appreciate you. Let's get to it. A lot to discuss. My question of the day is, was it the right call for Penn State to fire James Franklin? My audience is at 65% no. They're going to go backwards. 35% yes. Too many big L's. What do you think of the call to fire Franklin?
I think there's a real risk here that they do go backwards, but I think even having said that, I still think it was the right call. Like, obviously, the team was no longer playing for James Franklin. Like, his message was not getting through. He'd lost his touch, whatever you want to say. And I don't even necessarily try to put it on him, and I don't think it's his fault. I just think it's kind of the laws of physics. Like, you can only bang your head against the same wall so many times. Like, I love to chronicle the if not now win game when a program reaches that point in its life cycle, and Penn State reached that point like 5 or 6 times under him, and including obviously that Oregon game, and they didn't win it. And the definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is to try the same thing over and over again, and that's kind of where Penn State had reached, and they reached their breaking point. They didn't get there, so it was time to move on. And so I just think this is a natural thing. And the next head coach at Penn State might not reach the same heights that he does, and that's kind of just reality, because I don't really know that we know what Penn State really is as a program, because it's so unique that this job has only come open 2 times in the last 70 years or whatever the number is.
So it's obvious the losses to UCLA, Northwestern did it in, but I just looked at it and I said, let's frame this. This is Penn State, who people were throwing around as a national champion contender, who people say, well, they got close last year. They were right there, and they could win it this year. And then those 2 losses, how bad were they?
Well, I think the stat came out. I love to credit who it was, but I'm not sure who it was. But they were the first team in 30 years to lose back-to-back games or back-to-back weeks as 20-point favorites. So I don't know that you need to say a whole lot beyond that. But I really think it's kind of just the Oregon loss 3 times over. Like, they were still living in overtime of that Oregon game. And I understand why, because they put everything they had into this season and into that game. They followed the Ohio State blueprint of spending to keep your studs back and to go out and get your missing pieces in the portal. But really, I think the fatal flaw of that Oregon game and the fatal flaw of James Franklin at Penn State was he never had the quarterback to take them over the top. He invested in these big white stiffs. You know, he was still trying to put a 7-foot center down on the block in a day and age where 7-footers are shooting 3-pointers. Like, he went for these big, tall prototype guys that couldn't really move, and the only quarterback he ever had to make an All-Big Ten team was Trace McSorley, who was 6'0" and never really got a sniff at the NFL level, but he was a great college quarterback. Instead, James Franklin, one of these Drew Aller types that were 6'5" and could throw the ball a quarter mile, but couldn't really move. And that's not you got to be able to move at quarterback. I don't care how tall you are to win these days.
Here's the speculation now, and it's starting. A lot of Husker fans here in South Dakota. Matt Rule's a Penn State guy. He talked about it at his press conference today. I love Penn State, grew up there, met my wife there. And he said, I love Nebraska. I'm building this thing into a beast. So he said the right things. When you're talking alma mater, emotional ties, grew up there, how much of a factor you think this could be with Matt Rule and Penn State?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all. It's totally natural to feel the tie. You know, as Bear Bryant said it best, "Mama called" when he went back to Alabama. But I think if I'm Penn State, I want to think long and hard about hiring Matt Rule. Like, I think you should run a real search, and if Matt Rule is your right guy, then he's the right guy. But I don't think you should hand him the job on a silver platter. Like, I think Matt Campbell checks a whole lot of the boxes that Matt Rule checks, and he might just be a better football coach. Like, what he's done at Iowa State is well above the norm of what Iowa State should expect. And I think if you're Matt Rule, I think you should think long and hard about taking the job if Penn State offers it.
Okay.
Like, Bear Bryant's obviously the great example. Kirby Smart is beloved at Georgia, at least for now. You know, give it 10 years, we'll see how they feel about him. But look at where Matt Rule is at Nebraska. Scott Frost was a beloved son of Nebraska, and now he's persona non grata because he committed the sin of trying to coach there. Like, they'll never love you the way they do now if you go back there and don't lead them to the promised land. So his relationship in Nebraska is employee-employer, and it's a healthy relationship. And maybe he'll win there, maybe he won't. But each side knows what it is. It's a business relationship. And you go to Penn State, you're employee-employer and also, you know, father-son in a way. And it's going to change the relationship, maybe for much, much better, but probably for much, much worse.
Zach Barnett on tonight, national college football writer, footballscoop.com. Would you tell me, Zach, because fans are saying, hey, is Penn State in that much better shape than Nebraska? Resources, talent, recruiting, NIL. Is Nebraska, I know they got a bunch of money, the Rule's trying to build it up. Penn State's won a lot more lately, so are they that much better of a program for Matt Rule?
You know, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea how to answer that question, and the reason is because Indiana's currently the number 3 team in the country. Who would have thought that would be possible 2 years ago? Like, we would have all said, you can't possibly win at Indiana, and now they're doing it. And so is that just simply because Indiana threw a pile of money at the right players? Or is it just because Kurt Signetti wins, just Google him, and he'd win anywhere, and Indiana was just smart enough to hire him? I don't know the answer. I don't know. Texas Tech is currently a top 5 team. And it looks like if Texas Tech wasn't Texas Tech, they'd be probably the number 1 team in the country. They're absolutely hammering people week in, week out. They pitched a shutout in the second half last week and ran for 300-something yards without their starting quarterback. So who the heck knows anything anymore, to be honest with you?
That's interesting.
You know, maybe Nebraska's holding Matt Rule back, or maybe Matt Rule is just not that good as we think, and Penn State would dominate with Matt Rule. I don't have any idea. Indiana's number 3. Who knows anything?
Let me ask you about Nebraska. They beat Maryland. That was a game that you kind of had to circle going, well, Maryland's better than people think, and the Huskers get by them 34-31. They did lose to Michigan, but now I had them for another loss against Penn State down the road. Who knows on that one? So now people are throwing around, well, what if Nebraska, can they get to 10-2? Can the Huskers get there?
Here's another thing, Nate. I think, Nebraska should be one of these monsters of the NIL era. I mean, they're the professional football team of Nebraska. They're the closest thing they'll ever have to an NFL team. So, yeah, they should be able to money whip whoever they want. They're Nebraska. But at the same time, I've seen from afar the Nebraska media kind of treats Nebraska and Matt Rule like they're a Little League team, like they're just some little engine that could. Like, they don't hold his feet to the fire in the way I think they probably should. Like, I think Nebraska media should be making Matt Rule's life miserable this week because, yeah, you won a 3-point game, and yay, we finally won a close game on the road in the Big Ten. You should have won that game 28-10. Matt Rule should have been afraid to go to that press conference because they didn't win that game 28-10. And I think they're underachieving, and I don't think Nebraska media and the public, they've been so beaten down by 25 years of underachievement that they don't know it when they see it.
Very interesting. Let me ask you on Texas. Big win. Is Texas back in the mix?
I mean, they are for now. I think, Red River's an interesting thing. You enter that Cotton Bowl and you kind of leave the real world. We've seen Texas teams of the past go there and win, and then 2 weeks later they're getting blanked by Iowa State. So I think if they can build, I think the most encouraging thing was that Steve Sarkisian finally saw what he really has in his offense last week. Like last week against Florida, he was still expecting his offensive line to hold back while Arch took deep shots. Like his average depth of target against Florida was over 20 yards. Like that's insane. I've never seen another quarterback do that. This week it was like under 5. So obviously Sark did some soul searching and finally asked himself, forget what I want my offense to do. What can my offense do? And the offensive line played a lot better because he was asking them to do schemes that they can actually execute. So if they continue to build on that and lean on their defense and run the ball just well enough, yeah, they absolutely can. They can win every game they play for the rest of this season. The quarterback has improved from week 1. If the offensive line keeps improving, the quarterback keeps improving, the underwhelming running backs and wide receivers will look better by comparison, and the defense is as good as anyone. So yeah, if they keep building on this, they can win anything.
Last one for Zach Barnett. He's on tonight from footballscoop.com. Great site, college football fans. So Indiana, you threw them out there. They beat Oregon. I didn't see it coming. I mean, we don't see anything coming with Indiana. So where is this Indiana program? They're number 3, and that's real?
The most encouraging thing to me, Nate, is that they won the game by 10 points, and it wasn't a miracle. Like, they weren't banking in 3-pointers from half court to do it. Like, they made plenty of mistakes and still won the game by 10 points. That's the scary thing for me if I'm the rest of the Big Ten, is that this team is good enough to win at Autzen Stadium playing a B game at best. So the difference to me is that they have a real quarterback, a kid who could be the number 1 pick in the draft till April. They didn't have that. They had a nice college quarterback in Curtis Rourke, but that's all he is. Fernando Mendoza takes this team's ceiling much, much higher. And, I mean, Indiana could win the national championship. Like, well, we could look back and say, you know what, we're all playing for second because Ohio State's just that much better than everyone else. Like, I don't think we've seen anything close to Ohio State at their full capability yet. But if you tell me that Ohio State's not going to win the national championship by upset or falling apart or whatever, if we live in a world where Ohio State is immortal and anyone else can win it, then Indiana's in that group.
That's something. Zach Barnett on tonight. Great college football weekend and a wild one. Footballscoop.com national writer. Zach, appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Zach Barnett, footballscoop.com, live tonight from Texas, national college football writer. He covered the Texas-Oklahoma game. Find him on X at Zach_Barnett. Zach Barnett tonight. Well, he had the same type of feeling I did. I haven't talked to Zach today. Was it the right call to fire James Franklin? Well, sounds crazy. It's a $50 million cost. It's crazy, but it's the right call. It's just over. It's over. 12 years, 1-18 in the huge games, lost to UCLA, lost to Northwestern. It's over. And that doesn't mean somebody's going to come in there and set the world on fire at all. But that's my question of the day. Was it the right call to fire James Franklin right now at Penn State? 64% of you saying no, they're going to go backwards. 36% of you saying yes, he had too many big L's. Jason Andera is on every Monday on the Nate Brown Show across South Dakota, talking South Dakota high school football, the teams to beat as the playoffs approach. Jason Andera coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
At Dakota Bank, we're more than just a place to bank. We're your neighbors. From everyday banking to home mortgages, insurance, and trust services, we're here for every step of your financial journey. We believe in doing what's right for you because we live here, work here, and care about our communities just like you do. Go with confidence, go with trust, go with Dakota Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Insurance and investment products are not FDIC insured, may lose value, and have no bank guarantee.
How do you make a buffet day even better? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade is your place for good food and good times. Won the big game? Make it a play day. Aced your test? Make it a play day. Just need to get out of the house? Make it a play day. The Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade has all your favorites and all kinds of fun. So bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team. For good food and good times, make it a buffet day and a play day at the Pizza Ranch and Fun Zone Arcade.
Life changes fast. Starting a business, getting married, buying a house, growing your family. Have you taken steps to protect your family's financial future? Don't let life insurance be the thing that slides. It can help your family during difficult times. Lee Cruz with New York Life Insurance Company can help you get started. He's local and will help you find the right policy to fit your needs and budget. You can Google Lee Cruz New York Life or call 605-360-8804. That's Lee Cruz New York Life. Protect your family.
Attention football fans, the BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort has it all. Watch your team on massive high-definition screens while enjoying live betting. Keep some skin in the game even when the odds don't go your way. Enter Jack's Second Chance Mulligan Drawing by dropping your losing ticket for a shot at up to $200 in Cadillac cash every week. Satisfy your craving with mouth-watering Mexican cuisine from Guadalajara's or choose from 4 other food vendors, all while sipping on your favorite drinks. The BetMGM Sportsbook at Cadillac Jack's Gaming Resort. How will your game play out?
What makes a credit union different from a bank? At Highmark Credit Union, it starts with you. We're member-owned, not shareholder-driven. That means our earnings go back to you through better rates, lower fees, and personal service. Unlike big banks, we put people first. You're not just an account number, you're part of a community. Highmark Credit Union. Local, personal, and here for you. We'll make it happen. Federally insured by the NCUA.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
Hey, glad to have you here. Monday edition of the program, The Nate Brown Show, is on Fox Sports Radio. Glad you're a part of South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a solid weekend. Let's have some fun here. Thought-provoking sports talk from high school to college to the pros. Some great guests. Gary Sharp's coming up from Nebraska. Huskers are 5-1. Can we see them going 10-2 and getting into the college football playoff? Can we see that now? Penn State fired James Franklin. They still have those pesky Hawkeyes at the at the end of the year. They still have USC. Listener text coming in on the Huskers. Nate, they're not going to go 10-2. They're going to lose maybe a couple of those games, USC or Penn State or UCLA. Well, they aren't going to lose to UCLA. I mean, we act like this UCLA thing's like the revival of all time. It's still UCLA. I don't care if they have Coach Neuheisel's son or not. All right. High school football every Monday with Jason Andera, SDPB, high school sports analyst. Find him at 605 Jandy on X if you're not following him, 605 Jandy. And then watch the show from SDPB. It's called Game Time. Great high school football show. And he's here on the Nate Brown Show every Monday. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing really well. Really looking forward to how these next couple of weeks pan out before we start talking playoffs.
I know, man. Couple of weeks, I'm telling you. I have a big question for you. I'm going to start in AAA. Sioux Falls, Washington beats O'Gorman. So I put Sioux Falls, Washington in my top 5, yet I see people still voted for O'Gorman because O'Gorman has a better record. So set the record straight. When a team beats somebody, do you put them ahead of that team?
Well, that's where things get complicated, Nate. I know this is probably tough for you to figure out, but this is, who did O'Gorman beat? I mean, O'Gorman's beaten Harrisburg. O'Gorman, played right with Lincoln. They're a team that has been, probably, one of the top teams in the state other than Lincoln and Brandon on a consistent basis. Now, last week, they had a 10-point lead late in the third quarter against this Washington team. They kind of had it figured out. They fumbled on the goal line. So we're talking hairs here. There's not much of a difference between these two teams. But after the game, Jason Poppinga said, hey, that was a better team out there when talking about Washington. He said was very complimentary. He said they've really evolved as a team. So if you're talking about right now, I think you're right, Nate. I think you're right. I think this Washington team, but look what Washington did last week. They kind of stumbled a little bit. They did get the win against Rapid City Central, but they kind of stumbled a little bit, so we weren't sure who they were. I don't think they're as consistent as O'Gorman, but you know what? They did beat them on the field last Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking right now, and I know Washington's 3-4, but somebody's got to stick up for the Warriors. They had Lincoln beat, Jason. You know that.
Yeah,
they had Lincoln beat.
They did. They continued. They traded punches all the way into the fourth, and when you thought they were knocked down, they got back up. And they could have taken that game too.
Okay.
So Washington is definitely a team on the rise. They've got some players back from injury. They made a switch at quarterback, and Hunter Sayasavan has been really good for them. And they've got 2 Division I receivers on the outside. One of those guys, Jace Woods, who caught 3 touchdown passes against O'Gorman, 2 of those to take the lead. So they are a very serious team. But consistency, that's what they need.
Okay. Very, very, very high praise from Jason Andera, but Washington's not in his top 5. Anyway, okay. All right. That was good stuff, playing both sides. Hey, I got to get your read on 11 AA. I got to get this. Pierre beats Sturgis 44-0. Now, Sturgis just beat Yankton. You and I have talked about this 11 AA thing. I guess anybody can beat anybody, but I thought Sturgis would be in that game.
Well, I thought Sturgis would be in that game. I thought T-Area would have no problem with Watertown, and they got stunned in that game. This Pierre team, though, is starting to remind me a little bit of last year's Pierre team that really started to figure things out halfway through the season. Were able to be more balanced on offense, running the ball, making fewer mistakes. The first part of the year, they threw a pick 6 to lose the game against Huron. A couple things didn't go their way, and then they had a really competitive game against O'Gorman last week. They're starting to really come back with a huge win over Sturgis this week. They scare me almost as much as anybody in AA this year. But I thought Sturgis was right there. They have really proven that they belong in that upper echelon of 11 AA teams, but I think right now, you're talking about the right now. I think we might be talking about Pierre and Huron as the 2 teams to watch out for, and Yankton maybe a half step back after, not having their way with Brookings last week and then struggling the week before.
Yeah, talking high school football with Jason Andera every Monday on the Nate Brown Show. He's with SDPB, does a great job. The show is called Game Time. 11 AA is just, I can't figure it out. So you think Pierre...
Well, the coaches can't figure it out either. I've been talking to coaches, and nobody knows. Like, even Huron is probably going to end up as the number 1 seed, but they still have some weaknesses too. So it's going to be crazy all the way to the end, Nate.
I am thinking about Pierre myself because they played O'Gorman. They had O'Gorman beat, and so they were right there, and now they pound Sturgis. So I wonder if Pierre's hitting their stride here. If you had to pick, do you think Pierre's could be number 1?
Yeah, I think if you reset everything right now, knowing what we know about these teams, I think you look at Pierre. I think Pierre is probably the most complete team right now, but they've got weaknesses too, and they can get beat. The problem is hard to exploit their weaknesses. Their coaching staff does such a great job, and remember back, they almost had Huron beat. They had a couple of 4th downs that they screwed up on, really, and then they dropped a pass in the end zone, and then they threw a pick 6 to lose that game against Huron. I mean, on the field, they're probably a better team than Huron at this point in the year, but hey, look at the record, and Huron's going to be the number 1 seed. That's going to have to go through Huron to get to the Dome this year.
We're talking high school football. Playoffs are approaching. I want to go to 11B. Do you still think St. Thomas More is in good shape? They just shut out Hot Springs, 27-0. Is St. Thomas More still a top team to you?
They are. The thing I'm a little worried about with St. Thomas More is just the quality of their schedule down the stretch here. They're not playing the same type of schedule as some of these other teams on the other side of the state. No fault of their own. They don't make their schedule. But just coming down the stretch, Belfouche and Dakota Tech and Hot Springs and I think Lee Deadwood maybe coming up.
Yep.
That's not how they would prefer. Austin Hagen would rather have a little bit more of a test coming down the stretch to see where they're at. But I talked to Austin a couple weeks ago, and he says, we've got all the talent. We just need to execute, and that's what they've been doing. They've been executing against the teams that are in front of them. And to me, I voted them number 1 in 11B. I think Elk Point Jefferson's good, but I see some weaknesses on that team too. So I don't know. We haven't really seen them tested yet, but if they get home games through the playoffs, I mean, they've got a pretty good shot to get to the Dome this year.
I think so, too. I think St. Thomas More's in the mix. Elk Point Jefferson's in the mix in 11B. High school football playoffs are already approaching for the small schools next week. I mean, I can't believe that. 9-man schools. We're going to jump into that next week when I get you on as the playoffs approach. We'll see how the seedings shape up. Jason Andera is on tonight every Monday on the Nate Brown Show, and watch his show every week, SDPB. It's called Game Time. Jandy, I appreciate you, man. Thanks.
You bet. Take care.
Appreciate it. Jason Andera breaking down high school football. SDPB high school sports analyst live from Sioux Falls. Jason Andera on tonight. Somebody's got to stick up for the Sioux Falls Washington Warriors. What do you got to do? You beat O'Gorman, and then everybody votes O'Gorman ahead of you in the rankings today? I mean, make that make sense. I'm going to bang my head against this microphone. Anyway, so we beat O'Gorman, and then we're still behind O'Gorman in the rankings. It's really interesting. So, all right. Number 1 team is Brandon Valley in AAA. Sioux Falls Lincoln number 2. How about the win for Sioux Falls Jefferson? My advantage over Matt Kearney in Brown's Best and Kearney's Picks continues. He went with Harrisburg. I went with Jefferson. And we'll be back this week. Brown's Best and Kearney's Picks coming up on Thursday. High school football entering a fun time. Getting down to crunch time, no doubt. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show, I have a big problem. A big problem with last night. That's on the way.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation. Cakes and Donuts, inviting you to kickstart your morning by dropping by and grabbing some fresh donuts. I want to thank you for voting us the best in the Black Hills. We're up early making your favorite donuts, so stop by and bring some to the office. Everybody loves Jerry's Cakes and Donuts, and we love you, so stop by, get a great selection to brighten up your day. Serving Rapid City for over 40 years, Jerry's Cakes and Donuts at 109 East Omaha, and remember to like Jerry's on Facebook for some great giveaways.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Hey, welcome back in. Your sports, your show. The Nate Brown Show is on tonight. Hope you've had a great day. Hope you're out the door, done with work. You're done, right? We're done. Thought-provoking Sports Talk is on. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live, Fox Sports Radio. Find us on Twitter. Watch the show live at Nate Brown Show. So if you're on Twitter, follow us at Nate Brown Show, and then you can watch us live. Welcome in studio there. Interact with us on Twitter. We check that throughout the show. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. If you're a YouTube guy, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. You got the live show and the archive shows there. Every guest, every show. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Gary Sharp's coming up from Omaha tonight. He covers the Huskers, 1620 The Zone. He's also a part of the College World Series coverage. And we got a big controversy. You wouldn't think that would happen in October, would you? Baseball controversy with the College World Series? Oh, yes. Gary Sharp's coming up. Doug Ottewill's live from Denver. We'll talk Broncos 4-2 for the first time since 2016. How do I believe in the Broncos now? Doug Ottewill's on the way. Mile High Sports. I said I voted for Sioux Falls, Washington, number 5 in the South Dakota Power 5 poll. That's the best poll, by the way. It's a great poll. You've never seen anything like that. Okay, so the South Dakota Power 5 poll is the best one, and I voted them number 5. And I got a listener text. Let's see. Is the Washington versus O'Gorman head-to-head the only game that should matter? OG beat Jefferson and Harrisburg, so they should be ranked ahead of them. Well, hang on here. I understand there's other games, and OG has a better record than Washington. But Washington's a different team now. Washington is a different team, so hang on. They should have beaten Sioux Falls Lincoln. You could have said that. You could say that. Should have. I was watching that one. Should have beaten Sioux Falls Lincoln. So they were right there on that, and then now they beat O'Gorman head-to-head. So I got to go Sioux Falls, Washington. Even though they're the 3-4, you heard it here first. Washington's going to be in the mix. The AAA playoffs, a tough out. Sioux Falls, Washington Warrior football, a tough out. Nobody expected it, but they'll be a tough out in the playoffs. So that's how I broke it down. I think OG's solid. They're solid. They can beat teams too. Harrisburg, and I mean they can. We know that. They've had really close wins. Really close wins. So I'm going to go Washington with the head-to-head. I can't rank a team over somebody who just beat them. I can't do that. Let's see. I'm going to go to this last night. We got a big problem here. You watch Sunday Night Football like all of us, right? Chiefs-Lions last night. What was the number one thing about the game last night? And it wasn't Caitlin Clark hanging out with Taylor Swift. I know you just love that. It wasn't that. It wasn't that the Chiefs are back. Like Colin Cowherd said this morning here on Fox Sports Radio. Colin said, the Chiefs are back. They're 3-3. Look out. He said they're the best team in the NFL. Can we take it easy? It's just Monday, Colin. It's Monday. Let's relax. No, the number one takeaway from last night's game. Did you see this? Did you watch it as I was watching? No penalties on the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I've told you on this program last season, there is no conspiracy that the Chiefs get favored. So put that one in stone. There is no conspiracy that the Chiefs get favored. But I can't believe you can go through an entire NFL game and you got 0 penalties. Like that's a rare occurrence since like 1972. 0 penalties in an NFL game. So not one hold last night on all the dropbacks from Mahomes. Not one hold. Not one illegal contact by the DBs. Not one dicey pass interference. Not one. You got 0 penalties on the Kansas City Chiefs. So here's what people keep saying. And you got the doofuses who are, they say, see, it's the refs. The refs in the NFL, they are in on it. They're in on it. The Chiefs were down. Now we're going to bring them back, and we're going to help them out to beat the Lions. I don't think that's the case, but I cannot believe you would call 0 penalties on an NFL team in a game. And that's fine if you're clean, no offside, no false starts. That's all fine. But it's the subjective penalties that are the ones that you have to have. You're telling me there wasn't one hold on the Chiefs last night? Let's pull it up right now. Pull it up right now, and I'll go through like 10 plays, and we can get a hold. I could find one right here, right now. And somehow the Chiefs end up with 0 penalties. And you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. So let me ask you this question of the day. It's the second question of the day on the Nate Brown Show tonight. And I want you to sound off on that. 605-720-1067. Do you think it's even possible that a team can play an entire NFL game with 0 penalties? Like, do you think that's even possible with all the subjective calls that can be made? You know what the old saying is, there's holding on every play. So they don't call it, but there's holding on every play. But somehow the Chiefs didn't get called for one, even with Hutchinson coming off the edge last night. One of the best edge rushers in the NFL. It's somehow, some way, it was just clean the whole game. I can't buy that. There's no conspiracy in the NFL and the refs. I mean, there's nothing there. But I can't believe that you call 0 penalties. That's absolutely amazing, because my take is this. There's no way you can play an entire game of football without a penalty being occurring. There's no way you can play a game without having one penalty, right? But the Chiefs did it. They were perfect last night. If there's one team that's perfect, it's your Kansas City Chiefs. Just perfect. Do you think it's possible that a team can play an entire game with 0 penalties in football? That's my question of the day. You tell me on the text line if you would, 605-720-1067. Do you buy it? I'll read your text when we come back. Here's some early votes on the Twitter account. Do you think it's even possible a team can play an entire game with 0 penalties? 88% of you, I'm with you. 88% of you say no. There was obviously some missed calls. 12% of you say yes, the Chiefs were perfect. 12% of you living in a land I hope to one day be in with no worries and fluffy pancakes. Coming right back, let's go to this controversy in the College World Series. Yes, baseball. Is this a controversy or not? Big announcement, and it involves South Dakota as well. Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
Could there be a better name? Auto Value Parts Stores. They aren't just about air fresheners or fuzzy dice. Auto Value Parts Stores are all about parts, auto parts, and advice. Pros who know auto parts with tons of tips when you need them the most. You want real value? Don't go to a place with a cute name. Go to Auto Value. Could there be a better name? I didn't think so. Your Auto Value Parts Store. We've got the parts, we've got the smarts.
The model year-end clearance event is happening right now at Spearfish GMC Cadillac. Drive home a Sierra 1500 with discounts up to $82.50 or choose 0% financing. Drive a Sierra HD starting at just $52,630 or the rugged GMC Canyon starting at just $47,115. Experience the all-new GMC Terrain, Acadia, and Yukon with more stock arriving daily. Don't wait, these deals won't last. Stop by today or visit us online at spearfishmotors.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
The doctors and staff at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center have provided expert bone, joint, and muscle care to patients in the Black Hills area since 1976. Whether you're an elite athlete, a weekend warrior, or just want to continue your active lifestyle, the orthopedic experts at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center will help you stay in the game. Don't let an injury keep you from doing the things you love. Trust the team at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, specializing in what moves you. Learn more at bhosc.com.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales. One more time.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. How you doing, everybody? Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, from high school to college to the pros. Try and get you covered. I appreciate you making this show possible. The Nate Brown Show is on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Appreciate our affiliates. Also, bring us up online. You can bring us up on your phone right there on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. Watch us live. Interact with us on Twitter. We've got you covered there. Be a part of the show, at Nate Brown Show on Twitter. And then Midwest Sports Plus. We're streaming live on the new high school sports app. They provided live coverage of some great high school football games so far, and they stream this show live. Saying hi to everybody on Midwest Sports Plus, the new app. And finally, YouTube channel. Our own YouTube channel is live right now, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Gary Sharp's coming up from Nebraska. We'll talk to him. 1620 The Zone. His morning show is on every day in Omaha. We'll get into the Huskers and Matt Rule and what it all means with Penn State's job coming open. And Rule is a Penn State alum, grew up there in State College. I mean, it's something. So that's going to be a lot of speculation. Gary Sharp's coming up. He also covers the College World Series. And this is an event I want to go to. I still haven't made it live to the College World Series. And Gary's been telling me, you got to get down here in June. You got to make a plan. So I might have to do that. And then I wonder if I could take in this other little baseball deal that they've announced. And that's what I want to start with here on the Nate Brown Show this hour. So here's the big controversy. Here's the big controversy. And you tell me if this is a controversy or if this is just social media hellscape. Have you heard of the Savannah Bananas? Of course you have. It's Matt Kearney's favorite baseball team. Did you know that? The Savannah Bananas, the Banana Ball. They got they got 6 teams now. So they do this worldwide, tour across the country. And by the way, Sioux Falls is going to have Banana Ball in August, right? So Sioux Falls is going to get some Banana Ball at the Birdcage. I like that. We're going to put our name in for that. Can I get a media pass for that? We'll see. So Banana Ball's coming. I've never been to a Savannah Bananas game. Never been there. I'm not a Banana Ball fanatic. I mean, there's YouTube videos, there's all these reels, there's all this stuff. People just love it. They think it's funny. It's baseball, but it's entertainment and all this stuff. And guys are taking off their jerseys with big bellies hanging out. It's just wild stuff. Wild stuff. But the Banana Ball has become so popular, they're selling out huge stadiums. They're selling out Coors Field in Denver. And then they announced they're going to go to Nebraska. So this is actually the Savannah Bananas. That's their number one team, the Savannah Bananas. They're going to go to Lincoln, Nebraska, and play in Memorial Stadium of the Huskers. So this is going to be on June 13th. And what's the controversy? That's the opening weekend of the College World Series, one of baseball's premier events, real baseball, serious baseball. That's the opening weekend of the College World Series down the road in Omaha. So people are just going off on this. Is it disrespectful of the Bananas to say, hey, we want to grow baseball. We're growing the fan base. We're growing the interest. We're growing the game. And then they put one of their circus acts down the road in Memorial Stadium while baseball fans are flocking to Omaha for the College World Series in the opening weekend? Did they make a bad call on that? Was that a bad call? It's like, hey, you could go to Lincoln. That's great. Memorial Stadium is going to sell out. That's massive. That's awesome. Did you have to do it on the opening weekend of the College World Series? Did anybody check their calendars on that? People are going off here. I got Chris online. Who's the idiot who decided it was a good idea to schedule this opening weekend of the College World Series? And then I got your guy, Matt Kearney, here. What's Matt saying today? To everyone whining about Savannah Bananas playing at the same time as the College World Series, College World Series starts on June 12th, And this Bananas game in Lincoln is one game. He said 1 game overlap. That's like saying the Clowns and Firefighters series in Sioux Falls will disrupt high school football season. Give me a break. So Matt Kearney to the rescue of the Savannah Bananas. So the Banana Ball's coming to Sioux Falls. There's one announcement. That's a good get. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm trying to find myself. As a sports guy. I take sports serious. Competition, dedication, resilience. I mean, you got to get after it. And then we got this Savannah Banana stuff that's, I don't know what it is, frankly. And I'm trying to find myself. Do I go to a Savannah Bananas game? It's going to be in Sioux Falls. Do I experience it? See what it's like. You're supposed to experience new things in life, especially when you're getting old like me and you get accused of being an old guy that yells at the clouds. You got to stay up to speed. You got to experience new things in life. So Banana Ball, the Clowns and Firefighters, they're going to do a series at the Birdcage, but the Savannah Bananas are going to do that game at Memorial Stadium on the opening weekend of the College World Series down the road in Omaha. Is that a bad play? Let me get to Gary Sharp. He covers the College World Series, so he's really in on this. And he's also a big Husker guy, Memorial Stadium guy. Gary Sharp's with 1620 The Zone in Omaha. We'll talk to him when we come back. First, let's get an update on if you think it's possible to have no penalties in an NFL game. That's our question of the day. The Chiefs had 0 penalties called on them last night. Is that even possible to go through an NFL game with no penalties? Listener text, some text. I'm going to read all of yours if I can. Listener text. Nate, it's impossible. There is holding happening on every play. So he says it's impossible to go through a game without penalties. I'm with you on that. Listener text from a Chiefs fan. I appreciate you guys. I have a lot of respect for the Chiefs. Unlike Branch last night. You're never going to catch me doing that to the Chiefs. Up along the chin. Pop! You're not going to catch me doing that. I got more respect than him. Let's see. Listener text. It sounds like you're working on an excuse for when the Broncos lose to the Chiefs later this year. Well, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. I mean, you are right on that. The Broncos are one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. And now the Chiefs are perfect? That's interesting. So I'll keep an eye on it. Listener text, the Chiefs will play 2 more perfect games this year, both of them against your Broncos. They're coming after me. They are coming after me. Let's see. Nate, I want to know what your thoughts are about the Chiefs not getting 1 penalty called on them last night. Well, that's my thoughts. I think it's not conspiracy. It's not sketchy. It's not any of that. But it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. Listener text. So the skirmish at the end of the game was caused by an illegal crackback block against a team that didn't commit any penalties the entire game? Say it ain't so. Yeah, I mean, it's that was bad last night. I mean, you cannot call 0 penalties on a team. And leave it to the NFL. I mean, I'm here to tell you there's no conspiracy. I'm going to keep saying that. There is no conspiracy in sports like that. But here we have, leave it to the NFL to make it. It's the Chiefs who have 0 penalties in the NFL, in an NFL game, something you hardly ever see. Of course it is. My goodness. Let's see. Listener text. How about the Bananas? So what? Lincoln is 50 miles from Omaha, and most of the College World Series tickets are already pre-sold. All right. He's a Banana Ball fan. Let's see what Gary Sharp says from Omaha coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Atomic Wings, 2 locations in Sioux Falls. You don't need to keep going to the mediocre wing places with too much breading and wings that don't have any meat. Atomic Wings is different. I know firsthand. Their boneless wings are made with fresh chicken right there. The best wings I've had. 15 unique flavors to choose from sweet to heat. Huge traditional wings, fresh boneless wings for game day, lunch, or dinner. 2 locations in Sioux Falls. Just order at atomicwings.com. Atomicwings.com.
Football season is back, and no matter which home team you root for, there's one thing everyone in the Midwest can agree on. If you're tailgating or grilling at home, nothing beats a freshly baked Village Hearth bun. An old-fashioned hot dog bun is the perfect accompaniment for a brat or a hot dog and all the toppings your little heart desires. And for the best burgers, you just can't beat the Village Hearth Classic Bun. So head to the store and pick up some Village Hearth buns. The weekend is almost here.
Since 1928, Connect Home Center has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Mead Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Mead Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadLumber.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 41. Tonight, under overcast skies with a slight chance for showers. Winds out of the southeast 10 to 20 miles per hour. Slight chance for showers. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 60. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Cloudy skies expected. Tomorrow night, slight chance of rain showers. Lows level off around 45. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 54.
Western and South Dakota's largest selection of used cars, trucks, and SUVs is at Danny Menho Rapid Chevrolet. Over 350 to choose from. GMC, Ram, Ford, Jeep, imports, Chevys, GM certified pre-owned, 24 different manufacturers, all with Danny Menho discounts. If you want it, we have it, or our friendly staff will find it for you. Buyers on site offering top dollar for all trades. Financing available on the spot and all credit applications accepted. See us at Danny Menho Rapid Chevrolet or DannyMenhoRapidChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Your sports, your show. From East River to West River, this is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, hope you're having a good day. Thanks for being here. South Dakota Sports Talk Show back on a Monday. The Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Radio. We're having fun, aren't we? Have fun, everybody. Boy, I got a great guest here. This is perfect across the board. He's a Chiefs fan, so look out. He's a Husker, I don't want to say media personality, okay? And he's a College World Series guy. Play-by-play guy. So he's got it all covered tonight with all the storylines. Gary Sharp. He's on 1620 The Zone every morning in Omaha. And he's on X at Gary Sharp 1620. He's here on the Nate Brown Show. Gary, how are you?
Good, Nate. I was rooting so hard that for some way the Jets would get out of their own way yesterday in London, but it didn't happen. So congratulations to your Broncos.
Oh, man, that was ugly. I will say that. We grinded it out. Now, let me ask you my question of the day. Gary, the Chiefs had 0 penalties last night. Is it possible for a team to play an entire football game and have 0 penalties?
Well, as you know, everything's a conspiracy, and I feel like the Chiefs are back now because people are complaining about the Chiefs getting calls. I will be upfront here. There were a couple of penalties that should have been called last night against Kansas City.
Okay, just a couple.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game.
Okay. 88% of my audience, 89% now said it is not possible to play an NFL game with 0 penalties. It is not possible to play. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Now, before I get to the Huskers, that's the good part. Before I get to the Huskers, you tell me where you're at. You cover the College World Series. You said, hey, you got to come down here and experience it. And I really do. I haven't been there live yet, not once. And I have to do this. Huge event, big baseball event for the year. Now, the Savannah Bananas are coming to Memorial Stadium, and all of a sudden we had a social media controversy. The Bananas are opening up at Memorial Stadium on the opening weekend of the College World Series down the road in Omaha. Is this a baseball controversy?
It's a pretty bold to put. Well, so let me give you a quick backstory. So last year the Bananas were in. Not the team, but there were a few players that made appearances at the College World Series at events around the stadium. And they talked openly about playing at the College World Series. And the group locally that runs that stadium did put in a bid. So they got a bid from Lincoln, they got a bid from Omaha. But the NCAA didn't have any interest in having, the Bananas play a couple of days before the College World Series. I think it's interesting because you have a market for baseball going on at the same time. But the thing about the College World Series, it's kind of an Omaha event when it comes to Nebraska. If you look west of Omaha, you get people that come to the College World Series, but it definitely for locals is an Omaha event where the Bananas in Memorial Stadium is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. So it may impact the locals deciding, hey, on Father's Day weekend, I'm going to go to the College World Series or I'm going to go see the Bananas. But it is a bold strategy, and I think it was pretty calculated because you're talking baseball, you have baseball fans here. Why not try and grab some of that if you're not going to be able to play at the home of the College World Series?
Okay, so you do think it was strategic potentially of saying, hey, let's put this in Memorial Stadium on the opening weekend of the College World Series. But I will ask you this. Are baseball lifers, baseball purists, are they Are they banana ball guys?
No, but I will tell you, I've been to one game. You have to go one time. I don't know that I would go back again, but they put on a hell of a show. I mean, it's entertainment. It makes it fun. If you're diehard baseball and right now you're dialed in on Seattle, Toronto, you're probably not going to be enamored with the Bananas, but you go for the entertainment. I think you go one time, and then after that you go, okay, I've seen it. Because it is a great show. It's very, very entertaining. But the baseball purist is probably nah, I'm good. That's not real baseball.
Is that big for the state of Nebraska to have the Savannah Bananas, their national group? You have to get on a wait list. Is it big for them to be at Memorial Stadium?
Oh, it's huge. And the reason, so Kyle Perry, who played baseball at Nebraska, is one of the Savannah Bananas. And Matt Rule, who I know we're going to talk about, went to Boston to go see the Bananas at Fenway Park this past summer. So Kyle Perry kind of started the movement of, hey, we'd like to play in Memorial Stadium. And you saw the Bananas announced they're basically doing a college football fans' dream trip around college football stadiums next summer. So it was only logical that they would play at Memorial Stadium. And they want to have bigger events. They had Volleyball Day in Nebraska, and they had over 90,000. They're going to have a big, huge concert in Memorial Stadium next summer. So it only seemed right that the Bananas were going to play at Memorial Stadium because they've thought of other big things. They tried to get Oklahoma and Nebraska to play softball at Memorial Stadium because of Jordy Ball playing at Oklahoma, now at Nebraska, and that fell through. So they like big events, and, this state loves events. This is a big event state. So I'm sure that they'll get upwards of 80,000.
Gary Sharp on tonight from 1620 The Zone in Omaha. Let's talk Huskers. This is big. So, yes, the Huskers win. That's an afterthought, I guess. So Huskers win. I had a national writer on today. I said, hey, the Huskers are 5-1. Can they get through this schedule now and reach the college football playoff? They're still a ways away, but he said, hang on. The people in Nebraska need to understand Why aren't they asking Matt Rule today, instead of about Penn State and all that stuff, why aren't they saying, hey, Matt, we should have beaten Maryland 28-10, not 34-31? Is he right?
Well, I think they're a good team. We talked last week. They're a good team that is changing the way people think about Nebraska football. That in the past they would have back-to-back losses in the way the game against Michigan State and then Saturday at Maryland played out. They're a good team. I don't think they're a playoff team, but in this year of chaos, there actually is a path to the playoffs. The only thing is they might not play a ranked team the rest of the year, depending on what happens between USC and Notre Dame. So, they're a good team. Should they have won by more? Yeah, but they also probably should have lost by 2 touchdowns. But they might be the best first and fourth quarter team in the country, and the worst second and third quarter team. The last 2 weeks in the first and fourth quarter, they've outscored the opponents 48-6. The second and third quarter, they've been outscored 52-24. It's a win. They're 5-1, and you can look at Penn State, Wisconsin, and other places, Florida State, and go, man, they're struggling. But yet Nebraska's found a way to be 5-1, and it'll be a challenge to be 6-1 after Friday night in the Twin Cities.
Okay, so Nebraska's going to Minnesota, yes, but that's another afterthought. The big story is James Franklin's out. Matt Rule, everybody's already putting him in, and he told the media today, I'm not going to talk about the open jobs. I didn't do that at Temple, at Baylor. I'm not going to talk about this at all. How big of a story is this going to go for the season?
Well, it's going to be a long 2 weeks, or a long 2 months, and you hope it doesn't distract from a chance to have a really good year, and that'll say a lot about the culture if it doesn't. Like internally, guys are like, you know what, we know we have a good year. We're going to let Matt Rule take care of all that stuff. We're just going to go out and play. I was there today. Now, Matt Rule has never hid that he loves Penn State, and it is his dream job. But that doesn't mean that your dream job becomes your job. I don't think that Penn State fires James Franklin and for some of the reasons why they fired him and hire a guy like Matt Rule that's 3-23 against ranked teams. The logical connection is the AD and Matt Rule, and Rule played there. He went to high school and state college. He met his wife there. But I will tell you a couple of things. I think he handled it like the business of college athletics today, where you don't box yourself in and say, I'm not taking the job, and then 2 months later you take the job, and people are like, you're a liar. He did the smart thing. But he also found a way to kind of sneak in there that Nebraska financially, in a state of $1.9 million, where they have some donor fatigue, and they don't have a gigantic donor base, and they have sometimes an athletic department that is still frugal, he used that opportunity to say, hey, we need to up the bounty to be able to compete with the other schools in the Big Ten and around the country where they have $30 million rosters. So he played it pretty well, but I was in the press conference today. His body language is he was uncomfortable talking about this. I'm glad that he addressed it, but, it's going to be something that's going to linger until they make a decision at Penn State who's going to be the head coach. And right now, what else is Rule going to say? He's not going to box himself in. Even though I think Nebraska is a good place for him and it's a fit for him, and he is trying to put down roots where his wife owns a business in South Lincoln, his son is a sophomore at the University of Nebraska. He has 2 daughters that need special schooling, so they go to school in Omaha every day, Nate. So they drive the girls up to Omaha, and as a result, he moved his parents to Omaha. They actually own a home that's not very far from the radio station that I work at. So there's a lot of things that say Matt Rule thinks that Nebraska can be this, but he used the opportunity today to say we can be much more and compete. So he played both sides, but it's going to be a long 2 months as people speculate on what's going to happen and all these hot boards that have him at the top because they're connecting the dots.
You're a Nebraska guy. How would you compare Nebraska's program to Penn State? I say Penn State is in better shape, and I've had some Nebraska fans tell me tonight, no, it's lateral. What do you say?
Well, it's if it's your dream job, it's not lateral. I think the perception of where Penn State is compared to Nebraska, they aren't very far apart. Looking at location. But if you look at, history, now recent history, they just fired a guy that won 13 games last year. They fired a guy that 6 times won 10 or more games. Recently, Penn State has been a better football program. But in terms of the makeup, there isn't much of a difference like you would think, oh, my God, Penn State's job is so much better than Nebraska's job. there are challenges at Nebraska, but I will tell you this. In Rules now in his third year, he has made the Nebraska job a better job. He today tried to use his platform, to try and make it an even better job. So it's I think the Penn State job right now is looked at as a better job, but it's not like the Nebraska job is garbage. Nebraska's job is very respectable. It's just you need to start winning at Nebraska to get people to go, oh, yeah, it is a good job.
1620 The Zone. His show's on in the morning out of Omaha. Gary Sharp is on tonight. One more. I'm looking at this game now, Friday. Is this game at Minnesota dangerous?
Yes, because of past history and the fact that Nebraska today announced they're wearing all white, which we here call the surrender white. The thing about Minnesota, though, is, Fleck has had Nebraska's number, but this is not the Minnesota team that has caused Nebraska problems in the past where they just line it up and run down your throat. They're 115th in the country in rushing offense. They do stop the run. You got two quarterbacks, who the only two quarterbacks in the Big Ten that didn't run track in high school. It'll be a very tough game because it's on a short week. Minnesota's at home. Minnesota's trying to pick up any momentum from that win against Purdue. I think it'll be a tight game. But I think for people that are picking Minnesota to win the game, they're using past history. Nebraska's the better team in this game. Now it's important for Nebraska to prove that they can do this and win another game on the road. But it'll be a challenge. I think it'll be a tight game, and also weather could be a factor. It's a possibility of rain.
So you are not putting the Huskers in the conversation of a 10-2 season. What games are on the schedule you're worried about? I know USC. Are you still worried about Penn State, Iowa, even UCLA resurgence?
Well, I said at the beginning of the year they're 9-3. I'm sticking with that. They're 5-1 right now. They have Northwestern next week. USC, UCLA, Iowa all worry me, especially the resurgence of UCLA. It's on the road. USC is going to be a challenge, and then Iowa is always a challenge, and Iowa might be getting right at the right time.
All right, Gary Sharp, great stuff tonight. A great guy to have on. Talking.
Can I ask you a quick question? Because I just saw this came out. What's the reaction of the marker game being a night game this year?
I like it. I mean, it's cool. You're on national TV. I hope it's ESPN2.
Yeah.
I'm thinking ESPNU maybe. I think it's going to be great. That's a premier matchup, and put it on national TV. I think it's big.
Oh, I think it's great for both programs. It's on national TV. Let's hope ESPN2 over ESPNU. It's not a great slate of games next week.
No, I'm with you. Appreciate you, Gary. Thanks. 1620 The Zone.
Thanks, Nate.
You bet. I appreciate it. Gary Sharp on tonight out of Omaha. He's on in the morning on 1620 The Zone, talking Huskers mainly, and a little bit of banana ball, I guess. He said the Savannah Bananas did it on purpose. Strategic. Looks like Matt Kearney's applying to be their PR director or something. He's out there for the Bananas. All right. Gary Sharp admitted the Chiefs should have had a couple of penalties last night. He's a Chiefs fan. He admitted they should have had a couple of penalties last night. Do you think it's even possible to play an entire game with 0 penalties in football? That's my question of the day. It is a really interesting question of the day, and your answers, 90% of you say no, you cannot play a football game with 0 penalties. It's impossible. And what I mean by that is holding, pass interference, illegal contact, some of these calls that are just ticky-tack, but you got to get them called. I mean, you make these calls every game. So 90% of you say it's impossible to play a game with 0 penalties. 10% of you say the Chiefs were perfect. Doug Ottewill is in next. He has a perspective on this, I think. Senior writer from Mile High Sports. He covers the Broncos. Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
October is Renewal by Anderson's United Against Cancer campaign, and when Renewal offered to pay for employees' radon testing and mitigation, several Renewal team members found radon in their homes. Deb was one of them, and she always wondered how she got breast cancer. Radon causes cancer. It's linked to Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. Radon is a killer.
People don't know about radon. They don't know what a killer it is, and they don't know how cheap it is to have it tested.
From all of us at Renewal by Anderson, please get a radon test now. It could save your life.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
The bagpipes for your dog?
What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, also streaming right now on X. Follow us and watch the show live at Nate Brown Show.
Yeah, I am the same boy I used to be. It's the Nate Brown Show live. We don't change with the wind here. We don't flow and back and forth. We stick with the Broncos. And the Broncos are 4-2 for the first time since 2016. Even I have you Chiefs fans attacking me tonight. It's all in good fun on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio. Thanks for being here. Doug Ottewill's in right now from Denver, Mile High Sports, talking Broncos and more. Doug, how are you?
I am excellent. How you doing, Nate?
I'm doing good, man. I was watching the Broncos. I have my coffee. Just a low-key Sunday. You know, I'm an old man now, so low-key Sunday, watching the Broncos. And I'm thinking they scored that touchdown in the first half there. And then I kind of got disinterested because I'm going, I think this is going to be pretty easy. I mean, I thought after the touchdown from Nix to Atkins there, I'm like, this is going to be easy because the defense was shutting them down. Offense had made some mistakes, but it was still in control. And then it went to a defensive grinder. And I'm sitting here going, how does Sean Payton go from efficiency, they're moving the ball, efficient, quick hitters, to no passing yards for an entire quarter of the second half? How does this happen? And I'm telling you, if it does, if it continues to happen, they're not going to beat the good teams.
No, I mean, I don't think you can. For one, I don't think, many teams are going to allow 9 sacks in a game. So you can stop with that'll happen and the defense can carry them every week. The defense is great. Let's not mince words. but you got to have some help from the offense. And, you know, whether it's putting points on the board or simply, you know, staying on the field. But I guess I give Sean Payton a little bit of credit for sort of managing the game, knowing who his opponent was, not taking any unnecessary risks. I mean, if you're looking for a silver lining, maybe that's it. But it was painful to watch it, and you kind of think of that last quarter against Philly, and you're like, well, what happened? It's 1 week, and it's nowhere near the opponent. And all of a sudden, like you said, they came out of the gates looking pretty good. But kind of inexplicable, meandering path to a win, I guess.
Is this fair for me to say? Because I take some heat from some Broncos fans here in South Dakota. They say, you're too hard on Sean, and I've admitted I haven't been a huge fan, just even from his history and stuff. And he just tries to do this and tries to outsmart this and outcall this and out-personnel this, and it just feels like you could have just done some simple stuff against the Jets. This is the 31st defense in the NFL. I mean, this is a bad defense. And he tried doing whatever it was. I feel like it's a Sean Payton factor. It goes from efficient, we're going to, okay, we got the lead, let's try something bizarre, and we're going to do this for a whole quarter. I just feel like Sean Payton gets in his own way.
I mean, it's hard. It's real hard to argue with that because he doesn't seem to have a consistency with how he calls a game, and some of that's execution, but you know, I don't understand how Evan Ingram's been a decent part of the game plan the last 2 weeks, but wasn't that all before. I understand maybe he was hurt early, but it seemed like he just wasn't drawing up plays for him. Well, in camp, that's all everybody saw was all the Evan Ingram packages. You know, he has to tell himself to run the ball on his play sheet every week, and then it's like he doesn't even let, you know, Bo Nix have an attempt in that one quarter. So it's just kind of, I just like to see him settle it into, I guess, for lack of a better word, an identity, and kind of go with that, because it seems like they're adjusting or over adjusting maybe within a game or from week to week. They just don't seem to have a steady path to what it is that they do.
Cortland Sutton had one catch in that, throughout the whole game into the fourth quarter. I mean, it's one catch, Cortland Sutton. We got to get something done there. Doug Ottewill on tonight, Mile High Sports, and Broncos win, and it sure sounds like, you know, the Broncos lost, but can you be like, well, that wasn't a good win? You got to win in the NFL. You have to. But are you concerned about yesterday moving forward?
I mean, I think almost every week you're concerned about something, and it tends to always be the offense. You know, there was that, you know, stretch there where it seemed like he just refused to run the ball. Now he's kind of gotten to, you know, the idea that maybe J.K. Dobbins is pretty darn good, but, you know, it's like there's no balance there. I don't know. I mean, I would say that, yeah, I'm concerned from a standpoint of, I think if you're an elite team in the NFL, you blow the Jets out. And I know they're going to say the right things. Oh, there's no bye weeks, and every team's got athletes. But I would just love to see, you know, something that gives me the idea of like, you know, it's a pretty darn good football team. It's a really good defense. I can't quite say that they're a good team just yet.
Okay. Now, I'm with you. I said last week, maybe my Broncos are having a shot to win the AFC West, and I haven't said that in 10 years. And I said that it's the first time I've said it on the show. I think the Broncos are in position to win the AFC West, and then they played that game yesterday morning, and I go, they were one play away, Doug. You know this. One play away, essentially, maybe a little first down there at the end, and the Jets win it on another field goal. They were one play away from losing that.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a little like the Tennessee game where they got the good fortune of going against just a really, really poorly coached game on the other side. I mean, we can debate, you know, Sean Payton his lack of identity and inconsistency in play calls and whatever. But, I mean, Aaron Glenn, I don't understand what he was doing at the end of the first half. I don't understand a lot of things that he didn't do in the second half that could have got him into field goal range both times, really.
Would you have tried the 62-yarder? It was 4th and 8, and with the way the Jets' offense was playing, I'm surprised he didn't send Nick Folk out there. 62-yarders. It's long, but that was for the win.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think that's a makeable field goal in the NFL now, and that it seems like a much better chance than 4th and 8 with that pass rush.
Yeah, I was surprised by that.
I don't know, you go back to the end of the first half. They had a chance to do that then too. And they just literally took a knee. If nothing else, you could have gone Hail Mary. I mean, why do you need to take a knee when you have nothing to lose? With a couple seconds on the clock, if you'd have managed it that way. I don't understand it.
Broncos literally escape 13-11. It was ugly. Broncos are 4-2 for the first time since 2016 to start a season. Doug Ottewill's on tonight from Denver, Mile High Sports. Okay, you're not a conspiracy theorist, right, Doug? I mean, okay, but the Chiefs played last night and they had 0 penalties in an entire game. Is it possible for an NFL team to actually play a game? No holds, no illegal contacts, no subjective pass interference at all. None of that. Can you play an entire game with 0 penalties?
Oh, I love a good conspiracy. I am a conspiracy theorist, and I don't think it's possible to play an NFL game without a single penalty. I mean, I think, if you look back to, which game was it the Broncos played? And it seemed like there was a flag on the field every single play for the first half. And even the announcers said something about it. I'm blanking on which game it was, but I do think in an NFL game, you can literally call a penalty on any play you want to. I think, between holding and, illegal contact downfield on defensive back, it happens every play. It's a matter of how egregious and how picky, an officiating crew wants to be. So do I think Kansas City didn't have any penalties? No. Do I think it's better for the NFL when the Chiefs are good? I do.
Oh, all right. He's bringing the heat. I am not a conspiracy guy on this, but boy, it was interesting last night. 0 penalties on the Chiefs, and now they're 3-3 and a big win over the Lions. Giants, Broncos in Denver. Broncos favored by 7, Doug. The early thought for you?
That's too much. I wouldn't bet this team to blow anybody out, especially a team that looks like it's good. I mean, they might be 2-4 right now? They might be the most overhyped 2-4 team in the history of football.
But a good defense,
I don't know.
By the way. Good defense,
Yeah,
Giants.
They have a good defense, and they've got swagger, which I think is always a little bit dangerous. You're playing against a young quarterback who doesn't know any better. He might not be as good as he thinks, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
You got, Cam Scadaboo, who's kind of got a cult hero following within the last week.
He's tough.
Not that wins. It doesn't win or lose a football game, but they're definitely flying high. And, if you want to take the Chiefs conspiracy theorist, the Giants being good, especially with characters like that on their team, that never hurts the ratings either. So,
too much.
It's just
all right. All right. Too much.
I don't know.
7 points.
The Broncos are they're not a team that can bury people. So 7 points is too much.
No, I got you. Doug Ottewill in tonight. Mile High Sports. Follow him at D Ottewill on X. Doug, I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Take it easy, Nate. I'll talk to you soon.
See ya. Doug Ottewill tonight. Mile High Sports talking Broncos. Who's hot and who's not? Wrapping up the show next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
It's the geometry teacher who mans the ticket window.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen and store managers who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the graduate who listens to the league championship game on the internet.
It's the parent who sells ads in the school athletic program.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
It's the trainers, equipment managers, and ball boys who never miss a practice.
What makes high school sports here in South Dakota so special? They do.
You do.
We all do.
High school sports. It's the we that every community needs. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Warren Chemical and Equipment Company reminds you fall is not the time to be backing off on your lawn care. In fact, it's a very important time of the season for your lawn. First off, fall is the most important time to fertilize your lawn. We recommend Warren's Best Lawn Fertilizer. It's specially formulated for Black Hills soils. Fall is also a great time to get control of those lawn weeds with the right lawn herbicide that you need for fall weed control. Or you can call Warren Chemical for custom application. Give us a call. Warren Chemical and Equipment Company, 342-7644.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Lows level off around 41. Tonight, under overcast skies with a slight chance for showers. Winds out of the southeast 10 to 20 miles per hour. Slight chance for showers. Tomorrow, high temperatures reach up to 60. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Cloudy skies expected. Tomorrow night, slight chance of rain showers. Lows level off around 45. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently 51.
The new Mr. Liquor 2 in Rapid City is the only place in western South Dakota where you can order an ice-cold brew in their adjoining campfire bar and enjoy it while you shop. This month's specials include all flavors of Jim Beam Bourbon, $18.99 for a $7.50. Save $3 off all flavors of Bailey's Irish Cream, now only $29.49. Or choose Stella Rosa wines, now just $10.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores, off Catron Boulevard next to Walmart, or on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
It's time to hit the court at the Wautiki Fall Hoop Fest, November 7th through the 9th at the Box Elder Event Center. 3 days of non-stop basketball action as teams battle it out for bragging rights and glory. Divisions for boys and girls, grades 5th through 10th. Bring your game, bring your team, and bring the energy. And when the game's over, celebrate with special Courtyard by Marriott room rates that include Wautiki Water Park passes for even more fun. Don't sit on the sidelines. Register your team today at thebox.live.
Hi, this is Dr. Dan Jensen at Physio. We want to be your trusted partner for physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab. As the official strength and conditioning partners for Stevens, Central, Douglas, and the Rapid City Rush, our team at Physio is building the best athletes in the Black Hills. If you have an athlete in the family, we offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
From high school to college to the pros, from Rapid City to Sioux Falls, the Nate Brown Show is South Dakota's sports talk show.
All right, let's do this on a Monday. Packed show tonight. Thanks for being here. Who's hot and who's not every night at this time. Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, home of everyone's favorite buffet. Your locally owned and operated Pizza Ranch. Hit the buffet tonight. Who's hot category going to state soccer semifinal tomorrow night. It's an East River, West River matchup. Rapid City Stevens girls against Sioux Falls O'Gorman. Rapid City Stevens undefeated, 94-14, outscoring their opponents this season against Sioux Falls O'Gorman tomorrow night for a shot to go to the state AA championship match on Saturday. It's Stevens against O'Gorman, Sioux Park tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. Be there. Should be a great soccer matchup. Great high school soccer tomorrow night in Rapid City. In my Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, my Cubs lost, so that's one part. But in the game that they lost, isn't it perfect? It's a Game 5, pressure. It's a deciding game in the Major League playoffs. We started relief pitchers, and every run was scored on solo home runs in the game by both teams. No runners, no moving the runners, no exciting plays. Solo home runs, all runs, and relief pitchers pitch the whole time. Baseball 2025. See you back here tomorrow.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?